So I talked a little bit about extracting data from building automation and building management systems. And that's great. You can automate that. You can use Python to do that automation. However, and if you've ever worked in buildings or building automation systems, you know that you can extract all kinds of raw data. But in the analysis process, in order to really use those data, you need to understand the relationships between them. You need to understand what those data, what sensors they're from, what do those sensors mean. And it's extremely difficult in some buildings, especially existing buildings or newly constructed buildings, to be able to standardize or apply a certain schema to the labeling, what's called the labeling of the data points. So once again, the data that I showed you all in the previous tutorials with pandas was data that I've already cleaned and organized and put together and sort of tagged in certain ways. But in the real world, you're going to have to do some of that yourself. So in this video, I want to introduce a schema, a new open source uniform metadata schema for buildings called Brick. And once again, this is just kind of an introduction. I'll give you the website so you can check it out. You can learn more about it if this is something that you're focused in. But Brick is, from this website, you can learn about the way it works. Here's a nice diagram which shows that, this is an example of a building where you have a certain type of system, in this case, an air-based air handling unit, VAV box system. And each of these systems has some sort of hierarchy to it. And there's different metadata tags about what these individual things are. And there's a discrepancy between what an entity is, what point is there, the location, the equipment. And Brick is something that's come up in the last 3 to 4 years from the computer science community. And it's meant to sort of help revolutionize the way we organize data so that we can apply data science techniques in a scalable way across multiple buildings or hundreds of buildings at once, if they all have similar ways of representing the hierarchy of the systems in a building. So you can learn about why Brick is similar to other types of projects like Project Haystack, which is also focused in a similar challenge, IFC, BOT, and SRF, which I'm not familiar with. But there's even, there's webinars, and there's various things that you can learn about. There's a Get Started tab where you can learn about, you can explore some existing Brick schemas already, which we won't go into. Resources about how you can get started, an overview of the ontology of the tags and the points and what they mean. And of course, all of this is open source. In fact, a lot of what you find online from the Brick Schema team is, found in GitHub in an open source way. You can implement the ontology actually using Python. So there's actually a Python framework in which you can parse the different types of Brick files and things like that, adding classes, removing classes. So these are all things that you can use Python to automate that process of.